a question that I'm often asked is, what about these free lead programs? What should I be looking out for? Where's the fine print? Well, I'm going to give you what you need to know so that you can know if it's really for you, because a lot of folks really step into a free lead program, don't understand the fine print until it's way too late, and they lost so much opportunity and in a lot of cases, so much money. So we're going to go into 6 things that you need to be really sincere about knowing before you ever put the old ring on the finger and say, I do. You want to make sure the marriage is right, and free lead programs normally come with some really nasty fine print. We're going to get you everything you need to know. Number one, if you're taking notes, we're going to get right after it, is you don't own the policies that you're actually writing. This is so important. If you don't own the policies, that means you don't get control of that asset, and that is what you're building when you're selling insurance. You're building a policy database. The database is where the dollars reside. Those policyholders are who you're protecting, who you're guarding. And the last thing you really want to do is sell Mrs. Johnson, who is sold on you, and then you find out, oh no, the you guy here doesn't even own the business, which means I can't service this sweet client that I really desire to take care of for the rest of their policyholder life. I don't like that. You may not like it either. So see if you own and control the policies that you write. That's very, very critical. You want to be one that gets paid directly by the insurance company, not the IMO, the FMO, the insurance agency that you aligned with that gave you the free leads. There's always a barbed hook here. They are the ones that own the business and you do not. That's so critical in most cases. Now, that's not all. There's some out there that I can't speak for them. Maybe they do allow you to own and control the policies, but that would be the exception, not the rule. So find out if you own and control the policies, number one, on any free lead program, and that's very critical for you. Now, number two is very important for you to grasp is you won't have control of the leads, and leads are the lifeblood of this insurance business. And if you start getting maybe some decent leads and then they dial you back because maybe your sales were off for a day or two, guess what? You're not making the dollars that you could because they control you. The free lead programs, typically, they're not going to give their best leads to somebody that's maybe not making the bucks or having a couple off days. They're going to give those leads to the top performers. This is a business. You got to think about it that way. Do you really think they're going to give you, as a brand new agent, a real pile of exclusive final expense leads and they're going to be fine with you cutting your teeth on that? Heck no, my friends. They're going to give you aged leads, old leads. Oh my word, frustrating stuff, because it doesn't cost them a single cent. And if you make some dollars, back to tip number one, they control the policy and get paid anyway. No risk to them. So understand, leads are the lifeblood of this business. Number two, are you guaranteed a pipeline of high quality leads? What does that look like? Will they put it in writing? Very important on any of these programs, because I was a captive insurance agent back in the day. And let me tell you, they've got the ability to say, here's some leads. And then let's say there's politics involved, or maybe you're not performing for a day or two or three. Guess what? They can tune that down and then say, well, I'm sorry, buddy, there's just no leads today. Just get after what you got. Hope you make it. This is going to make you just furious if you're a top performer. And then let's say you didn't decide to show up to a meeting. Guess what? They can pull your leads because you didn't show up to a meeting. You're going to get treated like a W-2 at times. They're going to tell you what to do. If you don't walk the way that they tell you to, even if you're a top performer, they can cut your access to leads and control you. Remember, leads are everything. So if they give you free leads, be fine with the fact that they control your dollars and your destiny, because the gold rules, right? He that has the gold makes the rules. When you gave away control of everything, you really gave up everything. You don't own your policies. You don't own the leads. They do. Massive leverage on you. You're going to jump and they're going to say how high and just keep doing whatever they need to do to you in most cases. All right. Now, number three is you don't get residuals. Most places will never give you a residual. That means the renewal. That's very important. If you're selling the business as an independent insurance agent, you want to be very intent on who gets the renewals. Is it me or is it you? You should always own the residual, because that's power. If you get, let's say, on average, a 5% renewal and you're a $100,000 a year producer, that's $5,000 a year that you gave up. You do a free lead program for 5 years, do the math, my friends. That's a lot of money. You do it 10 years, woof, 10 years at 5%, 100 grand a year. Come on. That's big money that you gave to them without even knowing that you did it. So residuals are very critical to you in your business long term. And a lot of insurance agents look at a free lead program like a short term play, but you really paid the price here because you're going to get treated like a W 2. You're going to get told what to do. You don't have independence. And maybe that's why you got into this business in the first place, was to have independence, not to get treated like an employee, but to truly own and control your business, to own and control the policies. Back to tip number one, when you're taking care of a sweet person and selling them life insurance, they bought you. The company is really secondary, even though the company's important. They bought you, they like you, they trust you, they want you to truly be there for their family. And then are you really fine with saying, well, I'm going to give this company the ability to just take over? Wow, be careful here. All right. Now, not everybody's cut from the same cloth. Maybe you're fine with that, but a lot of insurance agents aren't okay with it because they weren't given disclosure on this. So, number four that I want to share with you is commissions. Commissions are important, right? So, if you're an independent agent, you could maybe make 100% or more commissions selling the same policies. You're going to find your pay is around 45 to 50%. You're playing halvesies, and they have all control of the policies. They have all control of the residual. You don't. And you're in a place where they tell you what to do. Do you really want to give up 100% of the monies? If there's $1,000 of commission, you're really okay with just $500 to play it safe? Well, I would definitely say that is not the best path for most if you didn't know how much money you were really giving up. Because even if they give you 45%, they're not going to give you 100% of that 45%. So if you sell $1,000 policy, they're not going to just pay you $450 right away. You're going to get a small percentile of that than if you owned and controlled everything and got paid by the company, the carrier. Very important. Now, tip number five, because you already took a bath on your commissions that you could earn if you took a free lead handshake or didn't know about it, the freedom that you give up in number five is very important. They control you. They tell you when to show up to meetings, and you better be a W-2 if they tell you when to show up to meetings that aren't compliance based. That's not a legal sales practice, by the way, but you got to understand, when you are 1099, you can show up for compliance meetings. They can require that. But outside of that, you're an independent insurance agent, meaning you're independent. You can pull the hours or pull back from the hours that you decide. Now, that's a double-edged sword. If you don't show up, you don't have a chance of success, right? Half the battle showing up and getting on the phones. But in a lot of these free lead programs and captive insurance agent programs, they almost require you to show up to meetings on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it may look like. And they're going to pull your leads away if you don't show up. They use that as a control tactic to make you do what they want. And I don't like getting made to do certain things, like you got a manager over you, wink, wink. Come on now. You want to have a mentor there. Managers, yeah, sometimes they get a little bossy, if you know what I'm saying. And maybe you got into this industry to get away from the boss and be your own boss. You gave away that freedom in most free lead programs and captive insurance agent programs. So understand what that really looks like, the freedom that you just gave away. You signed away your birthright for those kind of things. That's not the best choice for most insurance agents when they didn't know any better. I didn't know any better, my friends. When I was a captive insurance agent, getting paid very little commission percentile, I still made good money. Don't get me wrong. It was great. But I could have made over 100% and then some more monies if I knew better. And that's why these kind of videos, I hope, are really helping you unpack some things. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but you want to know the fine print, the gotcha clauses, so to speak. But giving up your freedom is something that most folks don't know. They're required to show up to certain things, and that's not great. All right. Number six that I want to share with you is called vesting. Vesting schedule is the very fine print that most don't understand. Vesting means, do I own my business? The business that I'm really working for, is it mine or is it yours? Free lead programs, captive insurance agencies out there, let me share with you, my friends, you're not vested. They are. You gave it away. Okay. You own nothing. They own everything, which is what they're doing. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that as long as you understand what that handshake looks like. You're not handed the ownership of the business, meaning you don't own, control anything. So when you decide that I'm not okay with getting paid 45% commission, 37.5% commission, I'm not okay getting paid 50% when I can make 100% over there at jasonfinalexpense.com or some other great insurance agency, I'm not okay with that. Let me share with you, when you decide to leave, you leave everything. You leave with your haircut and you walk out the door. You don't get any leads. You don't get any clients. You get nothing. And they normally have something called a non-solicitation policy. That means you can't even call the clients that say, "Hi, Jason. Hey," right? You're not able to handle the business for them. And these sweet clients entrusted you to handle their business. See where that may be a disconnect for you? Vesting schedule. Who owns the block of business, them or you? You want to make sure you're vested day one, not this 10-year, 5-year, 15-year vesting schedule where you're in a position where you're building a business for somebody else. You're giving away so many bucks here, and most folks don't even know these types of questions to ask. So, number 6, ask about a vesting schedule. Am I vested day one? Want to push one or two insurance carriers typically. They're not going to use the just war chest of maybe better carriers for clients. They're going to put you into one or two companies, and then they'll require you sometimes to terminate all your appointments, your ability to write maybe some better carriers. That's something you want to know. Am I okay paying that price to maybe not do the best thing for my client? Count those cards before you play your hand and give up everything to go for a free lead handshake, and you just hand it away 100% of the commissions that you could have earned more, and you relinquished control. That's not a real good feeling in your stomach when you didn't find this out soon enough. But vesting schedule, non-solicitation schedule, is there a non-compete involved? Who owns the block of business? Really important. Now, number 7 is very important, right? 7's a great number. When you understand that there's no risk on your behalf, you got to realize that there's not a lot of reward here for you. That's why free lead programs exist. You take this just handshake. And it's kind of like, if you ever read scripture, you just signed away your birthright for a bowl of soup because you were hungry and you didn't have enough time to make the right decision. You got to just relax here and go, you know what? Am I okay relinquishing control of my commissions, relinquishing control of my policies, my leads, my livelihood? They've got the ability to put you on that free lead program or captive insurance agent free lead program at no cost. And then they can say, you know what, it's just not working out, buddy. We're going to just terminate you from the free lead program. So you should probably go look for another agency to go work for. And you're going, what? And they're like, hit bricks. You're locked out of the CRM. Poof, you're gone. And you're like, are you kidding me right now? I was on a gravy train and now I get told to kick bricks. Yes, my friends, this can happen to you because they're in control of your business, your bucks, your leads, your livelihood. You didn't take the risk, so therefore you're not in control of the top side for the reward. Now, if you're looking at being an independent insurance agent, there's risk here too. You got to pay for leads. You got to have good training. You got to really have a good mentor, not some manager putting their thumb down on you, requiring you to show up to meetings on the days that they choose. You got to be selective for sure. And we do recruit agents nationally to sell life insurance, Medicare insurance, and annuities face to face as well, but more importantly in the telespace. So, free resources for your taking at jasonfinalexpense.com, no matter what work family that you align with. I hope this video gives you some great clarity on what you need to do so that you don't call it quits, but buying good leads, having a good mentor, having a good work family like what we are that really comes along your side to help you have the best chance of being empowered and strengthened so that you can find the highest levels of success that you're capable of. And not everybody makes it, by the way. 90% of the agent force fails because you know what? Sometimes they just didn't do a couple little things, or maybe it just wasn't in the cards. You got to understand it's part of the industry, and even free lead program insurance agents. Even when I was a captive insurance agent back in the day, and there was no cost for leads as well, let me share with you, for certain things, wowie zowie, you're going to get into a position where you realize, wow, even on free lead programs, that agent's gone, that top producer's gone. Top producers don't stay with free lead programs. Let me share with you. They may be there for 2 seconds and then go, oh, crud. You mean I'm getting paid 30, 45% commission and I could have gotten paid 100? I'm going to head on out. Most top producers never stay. Do you think I stayed as a captive insurance agent? Well, 20 plus years later, I was blessed enough to be able to make the right decision, and there's been no better life. So if you need any perspective, you need a work family to call a home, jasonfinalexpense.com will absolutely be a great resource for you. But we really appreciate you navigating this video with us. I hope you like the video, subscribe, leave a comment below if this has been a blessing to you. And remember, my friends, you've got what it takes no matter what handshake you take. I hope this video gave you perspective so that you can be in the position to win. Remember, my friends, you got what it takes.